Hey, this is Jim Howard with Trinity Security Allies, where our ministry is your church's safety. This is our Facebook Live, June 21st, 2020. You can find out everything you want to know about us. Not everything, but you can find out about us at TrinitySecurityAllies.com. If you're new to this, we come out here every Sunday and do a 30-minute Church Safety Network Facebook page live. I'm doing it tonight by myself. Wendy and the girls are on their way back home from Iowa, where Wendy is originally from. I hope that all you dads out there had a great Father's Day. Dads are very important in the culture that we're in right now, and I cannot tell you enough about what we should be talking about, and that is fathers in the home. But that's not what we're going to be talking about tonight. We're going to be talking about some issues that we've seen come across the country. We want you to understand that we are a nonprofit, and all those that are listening, we're always looking for financial partners to help us get the word out. We know that over 90% of the churches are 500 or less, and 60% are under 100. So we want to reach that 90%. We do have free resources on our on our website. We do have ebooks out there called Developing a Safety Team, Putting Together a Safety Team, Carrying Weapons in Church, and Sunday Morning What to Look For. We do also have some stuff out on YouTube. If you go to Trinity Security Allies YouTube page, you'll find webinars that we did on these ebooks. We also have a blog out there. Now is the time for Christian Revolution. Please, if you read it, like it, share it, please, on your Facebook page. We have some issues with Facebook, and we cannot post it anymore out there, so we're looking for y'all to kind of help get the revolution started. We normally do a Zoom webinar on Thursday evenings at 8 o'clock, but this Thursday we will not be doing a webinar because I've been invited to go to the church because we film our services on Thursday night, and so we're starting to open up again. And the church has asked us to, as a family, to come in and celebrate a part of the opening while they do our Zoom production. Let's get started. Let me know where you're at. Come on out. You know, in police work, we have this saying that just when you think you've seen it all, something else happens that you cannot believe. I mean, you truly have to take a step back and say, I did not see this coming. I got one for you. I did not see this coming. The headline read, "Canceled culture comes for the church. Church loses lease over liking wrong tweet." This happened around the 1st of June. This was an article that was written by Tony Perkins of the Family Research Center. The ministry of the Birmingham, Alabama megachurch has been brought to a screeching halt in parts of the city after one complaint. Not multitudes of complaints, but one complaint. One complaint. On Tuesday night, city leaders voted to abruptly terminate the church's lease, ending a 6-year relationship that brought the city almost $1 million in revenue. Thanks to a ridiculous complaint, Parker and Woodlawn high schools will no longer be home of a diverse congregation of over 60,000 members. It started when one woman complained about Pastor Chris Hodges liking conservative tweets, including one that featured President Donald Trump. She said it was culturally insensitive and troubling. She went on to say, "I'm not a racist. I'm not saying he's a racist. I'm saying he likes someone who posts things that seem to be culturally sensitive to me. Culturally sensitive to me." This English teacher told the media, "I do not attend the Church of the Highlands." She added that judging him or saying he is a racist, the pastor of the church, Hodges, she's not saying that, but Hodges likes someone who posts things that seem culturally sensitive to me. Tony Perkins with the Family Research went on to say it doesn't matter to those who are fueling outrage in America right now. The pastor even apologized for any actions that might have hurt anybody. Perkins said none of that mattered to the mob, who not only ignored Pastor Chris's work in their neighborhood, but the church is standing in the minority communities. At least a third of Highlands' congregation are black and Hispanic. But unfortunately for those needy people of Alabama, that's just the beginning. Because of this manufactured controversy, the church's Christ Health Clinic will also be banned from operating, according to Birmingham housing authorities, who decided Monday to ban all volunteer workers. Imagine if we held everyone by that standard. If we combed through the public servant accounts, what will we find? Politically objective or raging hatred and bitterness that led to these baseless attacks? It's amazing. I mean, I was totally just devastated by hearing this. Like I said, I told you this is why now's the time for Christian Revolution. It's very important because, folks, if you can't see this, Satan is alive and well, and we Christians need to start standing up to this, because if we do not, we're just going to continue to we're just going to see our country just kind of fall apart. It really breaks my heart, but I don't know what to say. I truly don't know what to say. You know, I was out looking at this article on the Church of the Highland, I came across another one that just really hit me the other way. And yet this pastor is allowed to do exactly what he wants to do. And I find it offensive. Birmingham NBC affiliate reported that a pastor, Michael Jordan of the New Era Baptist Church of Cotton Avenue, posted the message on one side of his posted this message on one side of his church sign: black folks need to stay out of white churches. And on the other side, white folks refuse to be our neighbors. He went on to say that white folks have proved they don't want to live next door to us, or be our neighbors, or worship with us. Who is this person? This is crazy. I mean, Christ warned us about this toward the end times. I mean, this is just something that I cannot believe that is going on out here. We've talked about this multiple times, of where we've seen churches that have been attacked over pro-choice or pro-life, whichever one they want to be. Our church, I mean, one of the reasons why we got started in this whole ministry was because we had a church that was preaching about marriage was between one man and one woman, and also preaching about their church believed in pro-life, and somebody stood up in the congregation and lost his mind. I mean, we've seen these things. We've had the prophets that have come into the church and said that we're not preaching the right things. But to shut down a church, not even a church, let's not talk about like a small church or something like that. We're talking about a mega church. We're talking 60,000 members, and it's shut down because of one person. One person was offended because the pastor liked a tweet. Now, he liked some other things too that might have been controversial. He came out later and apologized. He's even done sermons and talked about how we need to bridge this gap. God does not see color. He never has seen color. He sees us as his children. And we need to understand that and take that to the point. We have got to get away from this, because I'm telling you right now, I've said this over and over and over again. I said this a couple of weeks ago. Satan tried to take us down with the COVID virus. Now, you may not say, well, Satan didn't have anything to do with that. Okay, maybe not. I'm not saying that he did. But what I noticed was the states shut down the churches because of people gathering together before they shut down the liquor stores and the abortion clinics. They called those essential. Pastors today are talking about how essential the church life is because of the calls they have gotten from those that have been stuck in their house, that's not the way we live. We don't live in caves. We live in communities. We live loving on each other. We live working with each other. We live being out here. Yes, we still have to be careful with the virus. Do not get me wrong. For the longest time, I ran around here, not really of arrogance, but just ran around saying that I didn't know anybody that had COVID-19. Now I can't say that. A person that is on my board got it. He got it from his son who works in an assisted living house. God bless him for being inside there. But he got it, and he passed it on to my brother here, my Christian brother. And of course, I'm praying for him. He's doing well. The whole family's doing well. But it is out here. We know it. We understand that. It is serious. But you shut down the churches? But see, we didn't take that laying down. No, we didn't take that at all. We took what a lot of people have said has been the devil's, tool, the internet, and we came alive. We came alive. And so, see, Satan couldn't shut the churches down. So what did he do? He created the perfect storm. He had a guy that had kind of a checkered life. I don't know Floyd at all. I don't know whether he'd be the type of person that I would want to hang around with, because in my line of work, bad guys are bad guys. That's just all there is to it sometimes. I don't know him. I've never met the guy in the world. But I can tell you that the officer that did what he did, I wouldn't want him around my neighborhood either. He wouldn't be somebody that I would hang around. I know some of those police officers. I do know them. But I'm going to tell you this right now, and I want you to think about this. Just think about this for a second if you're listening to this. Would you go to your job every day? Would you go, let's say you're an insurance salesman. Let's say that you, you're a car salesman. Let's say that you work in a hospital. I'll rephrase the hospital part right now. But would you go to your job if every day before you went to your job, you had to put on a bulletproof vest? And you had to strap on a weapon, because you don't know whether the next client that walks into your office, walks in to come in for your customer service, whatever you're doing, cell phones, anything, and you can be sitting there talking to them, and the next second you're fighting for your life. Would you be working at that job if that was the way it was every day? Would you be working at that job if you thought that for any moment in time that this could be your last client that you talk to because this client could kill you? Would you be going there? Would you be doing some of the things that we have to do? I have no problem talking about training. That's fantastic. But let's be realistic about it. How many of y'all will pick up and go do what these first responders are doing? I will be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't do it. This world's changed. This world's changed. And it is a bitter, angry world. And Satan is using racism to destroy us. He's got the races against each other. That is the only thing that will take this country down. Is that if we don't get together and we don't understand that Christ's love loves everybody. Everybody. And yes, there are bad people in the world. You want to sit here and tell me that there's bad police officers, and I can go, yes, but doctors kill more people every year than police officers do. Are we complaining about that? Why do you think their insurance is so high? I'm not saying they do it on purpose. I'm not saying they get up every morning and they do something that causes, somebody to die while they're on the operating table. But it does happen. It does happen. And there are bad policemen. Just like there's bad pilots, just like there's bad preachers, just like there's bad ministers of music. Children's ministry, there's bad people out here. There's bad attorneys. We're all fallen. We're all fallen. I heard this week, and this just goes to see how the attack is going on. One of the guys that to me was one of the visionaries of church safety, he and Jimmy Meeks and Carl Chin, Colonel Dave Grossman out here with Sheepdog Seminars, went around the country talking about church safety before anybody else really did. They were the ones that I reached out to when we talked about doing this. They were the ones that I went to that really helped kick off my ministry. I went to one of their presentations, and what did they do? They took me up front and told people to tell them who I was and what I did in the area. He's under attack now. People are saying he is the one that is out here saying that white officers need to kill black people. What is this? It is Satan at his best hurting our country. And what are we going to do about When we talk about coming back to our churches, a lot of the churches are talking about that they're concerned with the different types of people that are going to come in. Our church, my pastor and I talked, and he said something about that, we had to make sure that we watched out for those that would come in and say the virus is not real. The virus is not real. That it's made up. That the government put it out here just to shut us down, just to shut the churches down. They're going to be those people. They're already those people. And I don't want to say there's going to be those people. I've already talked to some of them. They're out here. There's also going to be those that are going to be coming in that are hurting because they've lost jobs, revenue, family members. Just all these different things that have happened. They're hurting. I have a friend of mine that works with alcoholics and drug abusers, and he has told me about the increased overdoses because this is not good for an addict to be in the house by themselves. They need to be out here with people. Satan knows that. Satan knows that. He knows that. He knows that. I'm not saying that the government shut us down we had something we didn't know what it was. And so they did what they thought was best, and we need to live with that. But the thing of it is he couldn't shut the church down. He did not make it. And so what happens? He comes at us with racism. Because he knows he knows that it'll split this country apart. And I'm tired of it. We have to get past this point. God sees us as his chosen people. God loves us, but he does not see color. He doesn't see the color at all. He sees us all as one. Satan is alive and well. Christ talked about in Matthew 10, 16 through 21, he talked about when he sent his disciples out. And he says, I'm sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves. Be on your guard. You will be handed over to the local council and flogged in the synagogues. On my account, you will be brought before governors and kings as witnesses to them and not to the Gentiles. But when they arrest you, do not worry about what to say or how to say it. At that time, you will be given what to say. For it will not be you speaking, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Brothers will betray brothers to death, and a father his child. Children will rebel against the parents and have them put to death. You will be hated by everyone because of me. But the ones who stand firm to the end will be saved. When you are persecuted in one place, flee to another. Truly I tell you, you will not finish going through the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. For those of you that are out here being persecuted, I'll say this to the people in Birmingham, Alabama. We would love to have you down here. Florida, I think, is a great state. And really, I think that we truly believe that Christ is alive and well and working in this country. But we know that we need to do more. We know that we just can't give lip service. We just cannot do lip service. I got to quote Jimmy Meeks tonight. I was talking, and I hope I don't get this wrong, but he said that the liberal is out here trying to change the world and creating riots and doing destructive things, and the conservatives sit at home watching it on TV until they get tired of it and turn the channel. We got to be alive and involved in this. We got to really speak up. I'm not saying that we need to go out here and do protests and demonstration, but I do think we need to stand up to those like this woman in Birmingham that shut down a church because she was insulted. I know, listen, they teach us in crisis negotiation that the first part that we have to do is active listening. And when we listen to a person, we have to take their perspective of the situation and we have to make it our own. We can't look at their perspective and go, oh, you know what? That's just the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life. If she feels hurt because what a pastor did, then reach out to that pastor. If you feel hurt for what a pastor did, reach out to that pastor and make amends. Don't shut down a church that has over 60,000 people in it. Don't shut down a church that does a lot of work in the community, brings in $1 million to the community, that has clinics for those who can't afford it. Who are you hurting? Because you were insulted by something that he liked. He liked a tweet, and you said, I got to get this guy. I am concerned. I know I've been very vocal about this over the last couple of weeks. I'm concerned. I'm concerned. But I will not stop. I will not stop. God has taken care of us so much. And I will stay in his path, and I'll stay in his will, and I will continue to do what he tells me to do out here, where he leads me. And we will be talking about these type of things because we have to watch out for the church. The climate of the world right now, especially in certain parts of this country, are not for the church. Maybe it is if it leans their way or sways to whatever the public opinion is. Maybe they say, okay, we'll let them survive. But when you take a stand or your political views are attacked, I thought that was a freedom of speech. He wasn't endorsing a candidate. He just liked a tweet. And I just find that hard to believe. We have a guy out here, Colonel Dave Grossman, that has been out here training people all over the country. He's been training police officers not to kill black people, but how to survive. How to survive. And yet, the liberal side, the liberal press, has made him out to be a monster. One guy even made fun of his name, Grossman. Really? Is that what we've come to? Is that what we've come to? You know, if you disagree with a person, reach out to them, talk to them. If you disagree with me, please. You know my website. You know my email, my Facebook page right here. Say something to me about it. But to go behind a church's back and shut it down, just I do not understand it. I really don't. Where are we going in this country? What are we doing? We need to pick it up. We need to get out here. We need to start looking at how we can help our country. We have an important, and I'm not going to get into politics. I'm going to say this. Let me say this. When we go to a crime scene and we're looking at a crime and we're getting ready, we think, we have a suspect or we're looking for the suspect. One of the things that we try to get in our mind is why this person does what he did. Why did he do this? Why did he do this? This is one of the things that I think is very important when I talk to somebody, and especially like our children. When we talk to our children, one of the things that we need to be looking at is why did they do what they just did? I think this is very important that you need to learn how to be able to communicate to people. And when something is done, you may want to ask them why. Because there's probably something hidden that is causing them to do the things that they do. I can remember sitting and talking with a guy who was just, like I said, I'd said this before, that if we weren't on opposite sides of the law, that we probably would be friends. Very intelligent guy, very smart, really just, great conversation. Just a really, truly nice guy. But when I asked him the why he broke into so many houses, because he broke into 5 in Bel Air, 5 in another city, 5, by the time it was all totaled up, there were over 21 in this area. And when I asked him why he did all these things, and he told me, he says, because I am a drug addict. I have to have my cocaine. I can't afford my habit, so I break in, steal jewelry, go sell it, and then I have enough money to do it. And I felt so sorry for him because his why was a broken world. He didn't understand Christ. He didn't understand anything about the stuff that I would speak to him about Christ had changed my life because I was broken. So when I look at the political leaders, and I want you to start doing this, I want you to ask the reason why. Are they really there to help you? Or are they there to continue their agenda? Are they lifelong? Have they been there forever? And it doesn't feel like that they're really helping. And we need to start looking at, are they helping the church? Not just you and me. Hey, I like the stimulus check. It was nice. It helped us out. Brought money in, helped us during this time. I like some of the things they do here, some of the things they do there. That's great for me. But are they doing anything for the church? They shut the churches down. Churches fired back. Government realized, churches are essential also. But yet still, a lot of states don't let churches open up. Now they're finding other ways to shut down churches because of your political belief. Are you going to stand up for your political belief, or are you going to back down? Are you going to do what is right, or are you going to be that person that sits and watches the television, and when they've seen enough of what is happening, they turn it to their show that they're watching? Which one are you going to be? We need to pray for this country. We need to get out here and start praying that God moves us as Christians towards saving this country that he has given us, this country that he's blessed us with, this country that's been through, listen, a lot of trials and tribulations. It's not a perfect world. But name me any country that's perfect. Name me any place on this planet that's perfect. And let's all move there. But we need to be praying for our churches. Our churches do so much for us, do so much for the community, do so much for the world. But a 60,000 member church was shut down because of a political light. Like I said, just when you think you've seen it all, something else happens, and it just blows your mind. I'm going to leave you with this. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of the talk of Christians being weak. We are not. I'm tired of Satan attacking this country and taunting us like Goliath did against Israel. We need to walk out with the stones. Not violence. Please. Don't even take that. But we need to suit up. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you've done everything to stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep praying for all the Lord's people. Ephesians 6:13 through 18. We need to get out here. We need to show the love of God. Christ says, love your God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind. And the second part of that is to love your neighbor. We need to love all of our neighbors. The neighbors that live next to us, the neighbors that work next to us. We need to be there for them during this tough time. Because it is a tough time. There's a lot of hate, but we need to be the ones that shows Christ's love. I mean, that's the revolution that we need. We need to show Christ's love for everybody. And we need to stand up against injustice. We need to make sure that those that do wrong things are punished. I truly believe that. But we need to make sure that we show God's love. And we need to pray for those. We need to pray for the families that have been involved in all this. All the law enforcement, the first responders out there, please pray for them. All the doctors, the nurses, and all these people that are working hard against the things that we're facing today. We need to pray for them. We also need to pray for our church and lift it up. If we don't, who will? Who's going to stand up for the church if it's not us? Our leaders can do what they can. They have to have the members. We have to have the army of God to make sure that we're there doing what we're supposed to be doing. Thanks again for coming out. I really appreciate it. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the support that we get. There will be no webinar this week, as I said. I have an opportunity to go be with my church family again, and I'm looking forward to it. This is just something I've been waiting for and looking forward to, and really happy about. Pray for this country. Pray for our leaders. Pray for our first responders. Pray for our nurses. Pray for you and your brothers. Pray for our church. Good night. Be safe, and God bless.